Hey everybody, this is Divine 219 Lady, and I am back with some information. Now, the reason why this is titled the Zombie Apocalypse, Cannibalism, is because I'm trying to find out why so many movies, so many websites are talking about zombies, a zombie apocalypse, okay? Now, we've all heard about the zombie apocalypse, whether it's been on TV, during a movie, or on our very own government websites such as CDC. There is a zombie preparedness and survival kit listed on their site, but not just there. The Pentagon has a battle plan layout against zombies on their site, but it doesn't stop there. Amazon has a guide to surviving the zombie apocalypse with a zombie kit available for purchase. Now, you know what they say. We all must wonder why some say these are truth in plain sight. Now, are they trying to tell us something that we really don't know? So, of course, you test the spirits by the spirits. So I needed to go inside the Bible and look up some things and find some scriptures and see how we are today are correlating what the events that may be about to happen. Do they have any correlation anywhere in the Bible as to why we are looking at the term zombie? What are they alluding to when they say zombie? What are we preparing for? So in Genesis 9:6, it states, "Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God is made by man, or is made man." Also, in Leviticus 26:29, it states, Any ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat." So, if this is not a problem, or if this is something that is not happening or was never going to happen, why is it mentioned in the Bible? That was my question. Why did God put that into the scriptures? So it must be something about people eating other people that needed to be indicated so that you know that you couldn't do this, right? So, of course, I pulled out my blue letter Bible and I pulled out the Man Dictionary. And so with the blue letter Bible interlinear, I had to look up flesh. I said, well, we're going to start with the basics. We all know what flesh is, but we about to look it up scripturally and through the Kernel Dictionary. So flesh, for the BLB, as of the body of humans, kindred blood relations, mankind, and animals. That's our definition in the scriptures. Now, the dictionary for flesh is the soft substance consisting of muscle, fat that is found between the skin and bones of an animal or a human. Okay, so now we know what flesh is. Okay, now eat. So I had to look up eat because once I saw that in the scriptures, eat, I said, well, let's see what the blue letter Bible said. Eat, to eat human subject. That was the first thing it said. Or to devour, feed, to eat of beasts and birds, and to be eaten by men. So, to eat human subject by men. So this is something that's going on, or what's going on, or is currently going on, but we're going to get to that, right? And the dictionary definition is put food, but they have it in parentheses, into the mouth and chew and swallow. And the synonym for that is consume and ingest. Okay? So now we got both terms. So let's look at it a little bit deeper. There was an active story in Miami, Florida. It was titled The Miami Zombie Attack. And you guys can look this up through Google. You can even go on YouTube. It's graphic. What the guy that they termed zombie did to the homeless guy on there. And this is when a homeless man was attacked and maimed by another man who appeared to be in a, here's that word, zombie-like state. So now, of course, I looked up zombie. And I wanted to look up zombie just for clarification. And the zombie-like state in the Wikipedia says non-communicative, groaning and howling instead of speaking, unemotional with no mercy toward humans or victims, I should say, and hungry for human flesh. And it says zombies usually ignore animals. So now, the title was Miami Zombie Attack. So the zombie attached himself unto the homeless man and began to eat his face. The man growled while he was doing this. And remember, in the dictionary here on Wikipedia or the encyclopedia, it says groaning and howling. Okay? What? So is this really going on? So, like I said, please look up the details in this story because they are graphic. Just know toxicology reports state there was no other substance in his body, in the zombie body, outside of marijuana. They couldn't find an ounce of other drugs, nothing else. It was just marijuana. And his family, please note this, said he did not suffer from a mental illness. So now we need to think a little deeper. Okay? So the homeless man said that the guy blamed him for stealing his Bible. And although he said he had never seen his Bible, he said, I didn't even see him with a Bible. Okay? So let's look up self-control. Because now what made this man go out and be in a zombie state, right? So self-control in the Blue Letter Bible is incontinent, powerless, and intemperate. In a dictionary, self-control means the ability to control oneself, one's emotions, and one's desires, or the expressions of them, and one's behavior, especially in difficult situations. So in this situation, this guy was unable to control himself, or he didn't desire to even want to control himself. Whatever prompted him to go ahead and do that homeless man like that, we don't know. But we can look into demon possession. Because if he didn't have a mental illness, and he didn't have any other drugs in his body, now they assume he did something with bath salts. But if toxicology reports came back and nothing within his body but marijuana, that's only mere speculation, okay? So demon possessed in the Blue Letter Bible, it says to be under the power of a demon. Insanity. So maybe he went through an episode of insanity. Accordingly, the possessed were accustomed to express the mind and consciousness of the demons dwelling in them. So what empowered this man to be susceptible to a demon is the question. And then why did he accuse the homeless man of stealing his Bible? So those are our question marks. We don't know. The dictionary definition for demon possessed is influenced or controlled by something such as an evil spirit, a passion, or an idea. So that's what demon possessed means. Now, when we go to the book of Matthew, 8 chapter 28 verse, it says, when he arrived at the other side in the region of the Gerasenes, 2 demon-possessed men coming from the tombs met him. They were so violent that no one could pass them. So demons definitely were on the earth, and are on the earth, because this is in the New Testament, and they're talking about these demons that pass, right? Matthew is describing what Jesus told him to tell them, and 2 demons would not let them pass, and they were very violent. Now, when we look at violent in the Blue Letter Bible, it says to hard to bear, dangerous, harsh, fierce, and savage. And so that's really what that guy was going through at the time. Now, we could say demon possessed, and anything being possessed, I would say, would be sort of like a zombie. That's how I would look at it. So when I looked up cannibalism, just to see, is this the only attack labeled zombie attack or zombie correlations, or just cannibalism? What I found was more cannibalism And it was so many people listed that they were eating other people here on earth, I'm talking about, and in this current day, within the last decade or two. Okay? So this is actually going on actively. We don't put two and two together because we don't see it on a day-to-day basis. Yet this stuff is going on, even with sacrifices, for people's religious purposes and things of that nature. So I looked up cannibalism and they gave me these names: Albert Fish, Boone Helm, Jeffrey Dahmer. I know everybody knows about that. Catherine Knight. These were all people who actually ate off other people, whether they were living or dead. They were eating human flesh. Okay? So more indication of a zombie-like behavior was on, it looks like it says September 24th, and this was 2016, Washington police inside the Washington Mall, I believe. Now, don't quote my dates, because I was trying to get it, and when other people write about sources, they'll put that source date down, and I didn't even really go back that far. But here's another one. It says 9/14/2013. Another face-eating incident. This is by a 19-year-old Austin Hariff. Police said stun gun paralyzing burst had no effect. So now I said, whoa, wait a minute. Now these people are not being affected by these bullets or whatever tactics they're using to try to subdue them and stop them. They have to really shoot them multiple times to even get them to stop. Like with this Miami zombie attack. They shot that man 4 times, but during their first couple of shots, he continued to eat the homeless guy's face as if it didn't affect him at all. He continued growling, so on and so forth. And with this guy, they were doing stun gun to paralyze him, and it had no effect. So we're working with a different power now. This is my mental mindset. I'm not even in the kernel now, because what will make you do things like this? Even if it's drugs, people can say, well, drugs can do that, but it's still a human body that these materials that's trying to damage the human body need to come across. And the human body should still shut down regardless to what that person is on. Not unless they have another force behind them, and that force is not acquainted with the body, if you understand what I'm saying. So I looked in Compelling Truth about the Nephilim. I said, let me get some information about the Nephilim. This says this unnatural sexual union apparently somehow produced strange offspring, which were described as heroes of old, men of renown. This is Genesis 6:4. These heroes of old were also called Nephilim. This name, plus other biblical stories about giants such as Goliath, suggests that there was a race of both very large and very strong men. Hebraic legends in the book of Enoch and other extra biblical texts also talk about the Nephilim as a race of giants who were able to do, number one, amazing things. So amazing things would be magical or something dealing with spiritual forces. That's my intake is. But also perform acts of great evil. And their strength and size were most likely to be produced by a demon. And it says demon DNA combined with human genes. So I'm going to let that sink in right there. Okay? And so with that, it says the 16-year-old chewed chunks off the 59-year-old's face. And he made animal noises and guttural sounds. Here we go with that again. Zombie effect. Zombie-like state. The characteristics of that. Demon possession. So the officer who shot him 10 times out of 12 said he appeared to be in a zombie state. 10 times out of 12. I hope you all still following me. Now, how does this tie in with end time prophecy? How does this go together? Because he says, like in the days of Noah and Lot, this is what the end times is going to look like as the days of Noah and the days of Lot, right? So during Noah's time, there were a tribe or a group called the Moabites. I don't think they're existing anymore, but they were all included in a flood when the flood happened. Okay? And the Moabites was mentioned in Genesis 19:30 through 38. They belonged to the same ethnic stock as the Israelites. Their ancestor founder was the Moab, who is the son of Lot. So now we know where we're going with this. We're tying it all in. This is Lot's day. Okay? We're tying it all in. This is Lot's day. So this ties us into the vision of Lot's day of Sodom and Gomorrah, in which the Bible speaks of. So Luke 17:28-37, likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they builded. Okay? So regular stuff was going on then. During the times that all of this stuff was taking place with the cannibalism and eating each other and things of that nature. People just was living on before the flood. So they were carrying on with life as if there was no return of God and if there wasn't a God. And at the time of the of earth, when God destroyed it by flood and fire and brimstone, which was Sodom and Gomorrah. So in Genesis 18:20, and the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous. So now, not only do they have the acts of homosexuality, but he said very grievous. So what does that extend to? What was people doing? And so very grievous in the dictionary means very bad, very severe or serious. In the Blue Letter Bible, it says it's heavy, and the synonym is terrible, awful, dreadful, or critical. So the Moabites, they're mentioned in Kings chapter 6, verse 24, 25, 28, and 29. Now, scholars describe this text as a world where everything had gone awry, where violence in society called for a social change. Now, in 24, verse 24, it says, and it came to pass after this, that Behanded, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. 25 says, and there was a great famine. Now, Bible speaks of a great famine coming to this world in the end times. So pay attention with and keep up. There was great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it until an ass's donkey's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, the fourth part of a cab of doves dung for 5 pieces of silver. Now 28. And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said, unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So she wanted to eat his son today, and they was going to eat her son tomorrow. So this is the Moabites because of the great famine. So I'm so hungry. There's nothing on the shelves in the grocery store. There's nothing growing in the gardens because people have stolen them and eaten them all up. There's probably the sun is beaming so much. There's probably no rain. There's nothing for flourishness. The locusts ate up everything. Whatever the plagues of pestilence are, so on and so forth. There's a great famine because the Bible speaks of that in the end times. Great famine. People are going to eat each other. That's what I get out of it. Because what's left? I'm hungry. And there's nothing else to eat. So you got to go. And I'm going to start with you. And they were starting with their own family members. Okay? So in 29 it says, so we boiled my son. This in the Bible of Kings. And did eat him. And said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hid her son. So whoever she was talking to said, you're not about to eat my son. I'm about to hide him. But just know, great famine was taking place. Just know they were eating each other then. And just like in the days of Noah and in the days of Lot, the things will be. And that's what God said. That's what's in the Bible. Okay? Now, at the rate the world is going, demonic possession is increasing. Okay? Those with a zombie-like state is steadily increasing, and the consumption of human flesh is rising. Therefore, with these together, this could look like the zombie apocalypse that CDC, the Pentagon, and the Amazon is preparing for. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to make you aware, because a lot of things are not actually taking place, so to speak, on a day-to-day basis, where we feel like we need to lock our doors and barricade our windows and anything else, but it's going to get there, right? So let's go to CDC's website. It states, now hear me out. Now you can go on CDC and see this for yourself, because I'm not pulling this out of a rabbit's hat. This is coming from CDC, and this is supposed to be a government official website. This is where we get all our information for quarantining and for information that we need for any disasters that we need to deal with. For our flesh. This is where we're going. So CDC states, in movies, now this is what they're saying, this is a government site. In movies, shows, literature, zombies are often depicted as being created by an infectious virus. Now they're trying to put it off on movies and shows, literature. Listen to how they projecting this. In movies, shows, literature, zombies are often depicted as being created by an infectious virus. Now, what's going on now? Which is passed on via bites and contact with bodily fluids. So, bites, think about it. Human flesh, bites. Think about bodily fluids, any exchange from bodily fluids with human beings. That could be a transfer, okay? Other zombie origins shown in films, this is still CDC, include radiation from a destroyed NASA Venus probe, as well as mutations of existing conditions such as prions, mad cow disease, measles, and rabies. Remember, truth in plain sight. Okay, keep that in mind. Because why are we talking about movies on the government? Because you're projecting something. You're just saying it without saying it. Okay. So what are they telling us without telling us is what I'm trying to find out. CDC also states if these things were to happen, they would investigate. Now listen, if this stuff was to happen, so they're saying, well, if a zombie apocalypse ever happens, they're prepared. So why are you preparing for something that you say is fictitious? So if it were to happen, we're going to investigate and conduct the ordeal much like a disease outbreak, which will include, isolation and quarantine. Then we're going to investigate the scenario to determine the cause of the illness. Now listen to this. The source of the infection, virus, or toxin. That's what they're going to do. Now, they can say, this is what we always do with all outbreaks. And you can say that too. Well, this is their common protocol for all outbreaks. But why specify it under a zombie apocalypse is my question. Yeah, you've been doing this, but why is it indicated under a zombie apocalypse? Why are you saying that? Okay. So cannibalism is notated in the Bible. And yes, this was also in Lot's day. So pay attention to everything. Not all things are a hoax. And let's just hope the Lord is coming relatively quickly, because I'm not trying to see none of this take place on earth. Hopefully the rapture take place soon, and whoever's here to deal with that, hopefully they're mental to deal with it, because God did say your hearts will fail. I believe whatever demons is tied down, because he didn't want them out right now, probably would be those demons that do these horrifying things in the last days. So if I were you, I would have a come to Jesus moment, and I would believe in the higher power, Jesus Christ, and know that he died for our sins so that we shall be saved. And I would sit there and pray and give everything up to this world and only put my mind on the things of Christ and give everything up. Because what it sounds like to me, that right now our comprehension just not dealing with this topic. That's why you don't see many people doing topics on the lake of fire and judgment day and zombie apocalypse. I mean, they'll tell you about it in movies, and you'll hear people saying, well, it's going to be a zombie apocalypse. People are going to be this because they're going to be so deranged because there's not going to be food, or they're going to be so mentally, ill that these things are going to happen, or maybe this toxin will do this to people. It doesn't matter how it happens. Just know that it will happen. Just know that, okay? No matter to what extreme factors. It could be a famine. It could be a virus. It could be anything that trigger it. But know that it will be triggered, okay? And whatever was going on in Noah and Lot's day, it's going to be going on now. They were doing magical things then, the Nephilims. They taught humans a lot of stuff. So with that being said, just know that stuff is going to be going back to Noah's and Lot's day. Okay? Stay prayed up. And I hope this was informative to you. Please leave a comment if you like. If not, you can pass by. But please subscribe and like to my channel. I'll update more as time comes. Thank you so much.